is Samantha, and during these video segments, I am going to help you teach your dog everything your dog will ever need to know. Now, during these video segments, we will be using treats as our main form of training. There are lots of different kinds of training, and if you go to our website, you will actually see that we use e-collar training when it comes to our advanced obedience packages. Now, that is of course a fantastic way to teach a dog, but first, before we dive into that, you need to teach your dog the basic concept of what you need them to do. You know, we can't just immediately start, asking a dog to perform or do something if they don't even know how to do it. So that's what these videos are going to help you do, is teach your dog concepts of training and get them to understand what a certain word means so that they can follow through with it. You know, a puppy does not instinctively know what sit means. However, when we show them and reward them for that behavior, when we say that word, they start to make those associations that when they sit on the ground and we say sit, that they did something well and they're going to do it again. Positive only enforcement training is great, but again, it can't give you a good firm obedience level. So first things first, you're going to need some really good treats that your dog loves. Now, some dogs are not into treat training. If that's the case, please give us a call and we'd love to set up a free evaluation with you. However, if your dog is totally into treats, we can definitely start helping you right now. So as you can see, even as I open the box, Knox here is immediately interested in what's going on, and that's because he does have a high drive for treats and for performing for a treat. Again, some dogs do not, and that's okay. You just need a different route, and we can definitely help you out with that. Now, these treats Knox is interested in, but there are other ones that he doesn't quite care to work for. And so make sure you're finding the right treat for your dog. For example, these ones are pork treats, and these are Knox's favorite. The pork and the salmon ones just absolutely drive him crazy, which is a good thing in this case. But if your dog is not interested in, your normal dog treat, try even boiling some chicken, shredding it up into little pieces, and see if they'll work for that. Some dogs are just more particular than others, and so take the time to find out what works best for your dog. Now, the size of the treat really matters. These ones right here are just a little bit too big to use as a training treat. Remember, when you're doing these training sessions for about 10 minutes every day, you're going to be giving your dog a lot of extra calories. Now, those calories need to be taken care of, whether through extra exercise or by reducing their normal dog food. So that is up to you. Of course, talk with your vet about making sure that you keep your dog at a healthy weight, but keep that in mind that when you do treat training sessions, that they are getting those extra calories and it needs to be taken care of at some point, right? So right after this, we're gonna go play some fetch. But if, say it was a rainy or snowy day and I couldn't go outside, I would reduce Knox's food just a little bit, just so that we don't get a little bit overweight. So the size of treat that you will need is about the size of a pea. That would be the perfect size. Now, these ones I would want to try to cut right in half right there, and that would be a perfect treat training size. I'm not quite sure if you can see that, but this is perfect. It's not too much, so that they're not being overwhelmed by all this sudden high caloric intake, and it's not so little that, for them it's not worth their time, right? Like, would you do a backflip for a tiny piece of pepperoni? No, definitely not. So we have to make it worth their time, but not so much that they're gonna get sick from it. See, and there he goes. Okay, so now you've got your dog, you've got your treats, now what? Okay, well, so first of all, some dogs might have a hard time focusing for long periods of time. You might only be able to do a couple minutes of training at a time before your dog loses interest, and that is okay. If your dog has a short attention span, which, by the way, most puppies under the age of about 4 months are going to have a hard time focusing for longer than 10 minutes at a time. If that is the case, break up training time with playtime. Bring in a toy, whether it's a tug toy or their ball or a squeaky toy. Engage with them in between your little small training bursts so that they don't get discouraged or bored very quickly. Now, during these training segments, unfortunately, in a bad way-ish, Knox is already extremely well trained. He knows everything I'm going to ask him to do. However, these concepts will still apply to you and your dog at home, and this is exactly what I used to be able to teach him all these things. So even though he's going to be performing these very easily, it's not going to look the same for you at home. It might take a couple of tries. It may take a lot of persistence and patience, and just know that that's completely normal. Knox right now, again, he knows everything I'm about to show you, and so it's going to happen a little bit quicker. So have the patience, be consistent, and give them lots of love when they do it correctly. Giving them high amounts of praise as well as a treat is going to lead you towards success, because yes, yes, treats are great, but dogs, they want to know that they did something great by us telling them and getting excited and getting love and pets. So make sure that you add both in there to let them know what was good behavior and what was bad behavior. Okay, so now you have your treats, you have your dog, and maybe you have a toy to be able to help supplement in between. Now, you want to make sure that your dog is nice and interested in these treats. So let them know that you've got those treats, let them smell it, let them know that this is what's going on, that hey, you've got something real exciting in your hand that they can work for, right? If they can't quite smell the bag or they don't seem interested, pull one out, have it in your hand, and see if they kind of smell it really well. And as soon as your dog becomes really engaged, you notice that focus right there, and he's even trying to paw at it to get to get at the treat. Now we're ready to start. They're engaged, they're ready, and they're willing to focus, and now we can begin.